So guys, we are making this video because we mentioned during live stream reacting and feedback to the recent 5th October and 10th October campfire chat dev streams. I have more thoughts to share with you guys. First and foremost, I would like to give a big kudos to our game directors for making so many great improvements to the game for longevity and for players' experience. To name a few of my favorite improvements of the game, out of many of the great improvements, Sacred will no longer appear in Tier 4, only Ancestrals. Content-wise, with the upcoming Season of Blood, awesome vampiric buffs, boss target loot grinding, that was one of my biggest wish that came true. However, I do have to name just a few of my humble concerns in regards to the campfire chats that we have reviewed for the last 2 times. I can see why vulnerable damage, the vulnerability status effect has always been such a huge concern in Diablo 4. It's a standalone status effect on its own, and status effect is not in Diablo 4 the game at all, not like your crowd control, not like your damage over time. So it's very hard to actually implement it into one of the fixes like crowd control, like what we just said, DOT. That's why it will and always be considered as one of the base damages that every players in-game will have to incorporate into their whatever skill builds. I'm not sure why the game dev implement vulnerable status effect into the game in the first place. I do see its advantages to either make our specific classes more powerful as we level up and progress. However, with the upcoming updates and mechanic changes to how our damage will be procced, so-called procced, that sounds really complicated. Maybe it's just for me to understand. Those of you who actually understand how the future mechanic is going to work, please feel free to comment down below the comment section and do let me know. It could be irradical or radical. I'm thinking maybe just remove vulnerable damage altogether and focus on all other affixes that is already so many to farm for each respective classes in game already. So adding the vulnerable damage to it is just complicating things. I don't know, what do you think? For what's worth, if there is a purpose, good purpose, to make the game more interesting for players to farm for gears and for player experience, I say yes, please have vulnerability stay implemented in the game. Another of my concern was during the latest Q&A session, it's quite impossible to perfectly balance all types of skill builds. However, Diablo is a action role-playing game. Every different classes should have its speciality in terms of tankiness, speed, damage, CC, and even healing. I say it's a good implementation to improve on the legendary nodes to encourage players to make builds based on ultimates and not just the usual core skills. And I also think that it's a great idea. Basic skills are also going to become very viable skill builds that I'm truly very excited for it. So in that case, why not make other skill categories like CCs, stun, skill builds viable as well? My final concern in regards to during the Q&A session, one of the game directors did mention that they are trying not to make certain support skills like shouts of from barbarian shout skills to not able to stack on top of each other. Is quite crazy. I'm just gonna call it batshit crazy, because barbarians are dependent on these shout skills to stay tanky and to stay powerful enough to kill NPCs while standing there being tanky, right? You can't expect a barbarian to be dashing around or evading around like a rogue. They are trying to move forward to a direction where players are not constantly trying to stack to proc big damage numbers like in 7 to 10, 12, 8 millions kind of damage. That to me is a serious concern, because it's not even easy to actually proc high damage numbers. Like for example, when we are fighting Uber Lilith or even other mini bosses, maybe not as hard as Uber Lilith, we still have to time our skills and our stacks accordingly to get that high damage numbers done. If the game is truly going towards that direction to not enable players to keep proccing on stacking on damages, right, that is actually really seriously batshit crazy. That is always has been part of the fun of Diablo 4. So that's all I have for you guys in regards to my personal humble opinion on the recent campfire chats. So thank you so much for watching, and do let me know what you think about my opinion under the comment section. I'll be sure to respond and hear you out accordingly. Thanks for watching.